Yay!
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, hit it. Welcome, 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 welcome. I got my microphone today, y'all, so it won't be kind of echoey because I low key be watching our videos on YouTube. Hint,
I
hint, winking
I
the gun.
watched the I watched the playback too, just so I can see where I'm fucking up.
Yeah. I definitely critique myself when I rewatch it. So I'm like, damn, it's kind of echoey. I need to find my microphone, which I couldn't find it, and I finally found it under a whole pile of mail that's been piling up for the last 3 months.
Oh,
So
jeez.
finally found
That
it.
happens though, right? Like
Yes,
it
absolutely.
happens.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Here we are at the third installment. Third installment. And we've talked about this with the third installments. They go wrong. They go wrong. Mm.
like I understand the need to like try something different, like creative
Mhm.
liberties and whatnot. So I'm not gonna sit here and like completely like shit on it, but
Yeah.
yeah, like I just the third one is just always is a thing. Even with
Mhm.
the new trilogy, with just the Chucky trilogy, like
Mhm. Mhm.
once we got to that, like the fourth one, the Cult of Chucky, it's like it's always that weird
Yep.
3-4 pocket.
Yep.
But
When it's a trilogy, that third one, it does get a little off the rails. And this one seemingly starts off the rails just because it was written
this
during.
is the part that kills me, right? Is
Mhm.
that it literally came out like not even a whole year, like 9 months later.
Mhm.
So this came out August 30th, 1991, but the last one came out November 9th, 1990.
Mhm.
Right. So it's like you already know the quality's not going to be there because they're already
It's
writing the
rushed.
script during the filming. Yeah.
Yep. It was definitely rushed.
And Don Mancini himself takes responsibility for like
He
his failures.
does.
I
He
always love
does.
him. And he
I
said himself that
watched
this
it.
was not,
I watched that interview with him and he's like, "You know what?
yeah.
The cast did a great job with what they had, but it was me. He took responsibility and I can respect that."
I mean, the budget was 13 million and it grossed 20.5. So it became like a kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
And like we said in the last video, that it was a big deal in the UK because of the murders that happened with these children. They were blaming it on
Mhm.
child's play,
Mhm.
but it just seemed like
Yep.
he says himself that it caused a lot of pressure for him to draft the storyline on a tight schedule.
Mhm.
So this was where he wanted to introduce the multiple Chucky thing,
Mhm.
and just didn't pan out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because of the budget constraints or whatever. But this has Justin Whalen as Andy Barclay, and I never got the Justin Whalen hype train. I have always found him boring. Like the only thing that he was in that I was kind of like about was Serial Mom,
Mhm.
and even then, the only person I cared about was Matthew Lillard. Let's just be real.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
Um, but it's just this is probably the first movie that just doesn't feel relatable.
Yeah.
No relatable characters,
Yeah. Even
right? But I
Chucky was a
mean,
little bit off. Even like Brad Dourif, he did his thing with Chucky, but even his the dialogue for Chucky was a little off too.
this is when everybody got into that pocket of the one liners,
Yeah.
right? Like this is the decade of everybody has a one liner.
Yeah.
So Chucky was naturally funny. So the fact that he was just like spouting out these one liners
Yeah.
just didn't work for me. And I didn't like the look of Chucky in this film
I
either.
didn't either. He was not appealing to the eye
The
in this one.
animatronics were great, but like the look of him, like he had a mullet, first of all, and like he just looked like
Yeah. His face was
bootleg.
different. His face was a
Yeah.
little off.
He looked like he had high blood pressure, like he was a little
Yeah.
sodium swollen and shit. Like it's
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents on the matter. So we'll talk more about it as we get into the review, and I'm gonna let Kimay take it away because this is her self proclaimed
Yeah.
favorite.
It was a favorite of mine. And on the rewatch, I mean, I still will say this one has a very high replay value for me. It still has a replay value for me, but seeing it in a different lens in comparison, like when you're in the Child's Play slash Chucky franchise, this is the one that sticks out like a sore freaking thumb. So let's get into it. And I want to do this preface for it too, because although Child's Play 3 was released so quick after Child's Play 2, the actual story takes place 8 years later.
Yes.
And it takes place 1 month before the events of Bride of Chucky. So
What?
in a weird place. Yeah, I looked that up. I was like, really?
Okay, so in the universe.
In the universe, yeah. It happens a month before the events, which I'm like, huh? Because I don't know. The timing, I don't know if that I don't know.
But when you watch Bride,
He's already like I don't know.
no, she clearly says there's like a time.
Hmm.
We'll get into that because that makes no sense. So you're telling me Andy Barclay's 16 years old during Bride of Chucky?
Yeah, that's the part as like, and I think that's where this movie has the continuity with the franchise doesn't make
That's
sense.
the first that I'm ever hearing about 3 being so close to Bride.
Yeah, that's what I was like, what? So I was like, hey, but I do want to say this film starts off back at the Play Pals company. We are seeing so much, so many cobwebs, spider webs. It's been quite some time. So they open up the factory again. They are wanting to continue making these good guy dolls because, as the CEO says, Andy's long gone. Andy Barclay's long gone. We don't care about him. But I
You
want
know,
to say this movie, it might not have been the best opening scene, but it's a very iconic scene to me because we see that that stump of what Chucky was is still there. It's still melted right
the
there.
stump
And
of
the
Chucky.
claw, I thought that the claw was like that game when you play in the the little arcade. The claw picked him up and poked him, and it became a bloody mess. It got in the plastic that's heating up, and that is where we were supposed to get like the idea of having multiple Chuckies. Kind of started with that because wouldn't that make sense that that blood
Right.
that's in that tub it would make more than one doll. But I thought the cinematography on this part, just this opening scene, was really cool. Just to see the blood kind of get infused and it's swirling around. They're making the mask. They're making all that, and then he screams, and I felt like that was just like, oh yeah, because he's saying no, like I got to go through this shit all over again. So I thought that was pretty great. I thought it was great. Which I think that's why it has a special place in my heart because of just that opening scene of like, oh my gosh, he's back. So now we are at the PlayPal CEO. Is he's still not a good man. And I like that they had
Yeah.
the same character. They had the same actor play the CEO guy.
Mhm.
And he has was I the only one that noticed that his apartment or whatever his little loft, it had nothing but toys in there. I thought that was kind of weird. Even though he's a CEO of a toy company, why you gotta have all these toys in your house?
It was a little strange that most of the furniture was toys.
It
It
was.
was a
It
bit
was.
strange.
It was a little strange. And one of another scene that was my favorite when both the good guy dolls are in the chairs and they're like, "Hi, hi, do you want?" Like they're going back and forth, and he's like, "What the hell?
Now
What's going
that
on?"
I will say I enjoyed that because I always forget that if you had multiple good guys together, they will talk to each other. They
They
advertised that in
do.
the first one, so I always forget that because you've never seen,
They
like, even in part
do.
two, it didn't click for me that Tommy was talking to him because they're both good guy dolls.
They both are. They both are. Which I feel like back in that day, that's something that was ahead of the game in for dolls. You
Yeah,
know, that was ahead of the
definitely.
game. So yeah, they talk to each other. So they're bouncing off, and he's looking. And the fact that they were placed in the chair, and the chair was like turned around, that was great. So as he's looking at the dolls, Chucky comes up behind him. Who gives him a nice whack, a nice, a nice clean whack, I should say. So we can see Chucky ain't lost
No,
his stride. Like he's good. This guy's good. So that's our first kill. That is our first kill. I
I
thought
just
the part where
I
he's
hate the way he looks in this movie. Like I fucking despise.
yeah, yeah. Even the I would say even the poster with like his face, it looked different. It looked very very different. So
I
we
just
fast forward. We move over to Andy. Andy's 16 now, and it's kind of implied that he's bounced through foster homes. Like
mhm.
he's bounced through foster homes, and it seems like he's trying to cope with that as Kyle kind of prepared him for it in the last one, which is why I'm like, dang, they missed a perfect opportunity to continue with his story with him and Kyle. But whatever. He's sent to military school, and this colonel guy is the worst. He is just the absolute worst. And I was automatically like, I want him to go. Like I need him to go.
He
Like
was so boring.
he
Like
was. It and I feel like, but here's the thing, the whole part of them being at a military school just was boring. It was boring to me. It
yeah,
was boring.
you go from Chicago to Kent Military School, which I always thought it was our Kent
Yeah.
because that's the only Kent that I knew. So I always thought it was like our Kent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like just the whole setting just seems so far removed from the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like it just didn't
Yep.
fit for me.
Yep. And the dialogue too. The dialogue for the other cadets at this military school was god awful.
Yeah, I'm not a
It
fan.
was just
I'm just
god
not a
awful. It
fan
was
of it.
cringy. It was also very cringy because it's like when he did the whole "this is my rifle," this is like,
But
I'm
that's the
like,
thing. Okay, so it's bad enough that like it's a military movie, right? Like let's just
yeah,
call it what it is. But
yeah.
to steal that from fucking Full Metal Jacket,
That's why I'm like,
it
this
made no sense. Like
this is
it only works
cringy.
in Full Metal Jacket. It doesn't work
Yeah,
in a Chucky movie.
yeah. Like leave it alone. Like it was just so, it was just cringy. But
I just like just keep going because we're gonna get to the characters as we go
mhm,
along. Like I said,
mhm,
that's just how much like, and I don't really get like icks about movies,
mhm.
but when it comes to a franchise that I love, and it's always that one that is just like a makes my ass itch. I'm just
Yeah,
like, ugh.
yeah. Watching it on the replay was just not a good time.
It
But
is, but it isn't. It is because
yeah,
like it's a part of the franchise, right?
yeah.
And it is because it's Chucky. And anytime you see more Chucky, I'm down for.
Of course, of
But
course.
when you actually like stack it up against the other two movies in the initial trilogy, it
It is
just
this.
doesn't work.
Is down, is way down. So this commander, this Colonel Cochran guy, he's telling Andy, you need to grow up, you gotta forget about the fantasies and that doll. Like he is just being so dismissive, which I feel like Andy has just,
He's
you
so used to
know,
that by now.
he's used to that. So we meet some cadets that he befriends. So he got the dude Harold. That's his, that's he tries to be friends with him. And then we meet little Ronald Tyler, the
But
8-year-old cadet.
it's crazy that like he meets this kid and he's already stuffed in a closet.
Yep. Yep. Automatically. And then we also get introduced to a possible love interest for
Oh
Andy,
God.
which I did not like De Silva. I will be
Silva
the
is
first one
so
to say I didn't like De Silva. She didn't seem like, I don't know. I don't know. She had no winning qualities for me.
I
What
just
about you?
really could have dealt without the romance
Yeah.
in a child's
Like
play movie.
we don't need that. we don't need that. So we meet De Silva, which you can tell that they're kind of like, nudging that this is going to be a
But I
romance.
mean, they even said they tried to make her like a Sarah Connor type
Yeah.
badass, and like
Oh
I
yeah.
just never
Oh
got
yeah.
badass from her.
Never.
Like Kyle,
I got
sure,
poser. I got a poser
yeah,
in
like
her.
I
It
definitely
wasn't.
got
She wasn't selling it. She wasn't selling her role.
no.
And then he also meets Brett, who is the bully. We gotta have, for any, because Andy's the underdog, so he's the new kid, and you have to have these cliche characters. So you have to have the best friend who's also like Andy.
Hmm.
You gotta have those potential love interests, and you gotta have the bully.
Yeah, I feel like because they aged him up, they threw in all of these character tropes
Mhm. Mhm.
to make it make sense, but it
Mhm.
didn't have to do that way if you didn't age him up.
Exactly. You did not. Nobody was asking to see a 16-year-old Andy.
I mean, even if you wanted to bring some complexity to Andy, you could have had a 10-year-old Andy
Yeah.
in fifth grade trying to make friends, even though all these kids know about him. It's a lot of ways to do that, but I just wasn't a fan of De Silva. I wasn't a fan of fucking Harold. I wasn't a fan of Cadet Lieutenant Brett. Like,
Mhm.
just so stereotypical. It was like watching like a really bad teen drama in the middle of a Chucky movie.
Mhm. Yep. And that was just, and it's just to go from 2 to 3 was like, it was a hard shift to where they were shifting to.
Like,
But
I can't do the whole like. But I will say they captured the essence of a JROTC program very well,
yeah.
because I went to high school with a lot of those dudes,
Mhm.
and that's
Mhm.
exactly how they act. It's their whole fucking personality.
That's their whole personality. Yep. Yep. So there is a package that has gotten delivered to Andy. And of course, like, and this is why this movie kind of irked me, is because it was too, it was just too coincidental. So of course, the 8-year-old cadet, little Tyler, he's the one who has to deliver, who's asked to deliver this package to Andy's room. And he's like kind of obsessed with like good guy dolls too. So he's,
Mhm.
they're with them, bringing good guy dolls back. Of course, they're putting it out there, putting the commercials out there, and what 8-year-old is not gonna want to see what's in this big package? So he, a part of it rips off, and you see the little good guy logo, and he's like, this is it. We
It's my
go open
moment.
it. So typical 8-year-old that behavior, which Don Mancini also said the reason why this just a lot of he got a critiques about it was the actor that played Ronald Tyler. He was actually 8 years old at the time.
Yes, Jeremy Silvers.
Yeah, like he was actually 8 years old at the time, but it just still felt like he was too old to be playing with dolls.
Now that is where I say I'll say it again. I love watching Dead Meet James A. Janice, because he always offers like the most like, and I hate to say woke, but he offers the most insightful perspectives. When he was like, I think it's just my internal bias that says that I think he's too old to be playing with dolls.
Yeah, especially when you see him having a game system in his
Yes.
hand. He has like a console in his hand. So I don't know what 8-year-old is choosing to play with a doll over.
Well, I can say having had an 8-year-old who still loved like action figures, stuffed animals,
Mhm.
and video games at the same time is very plausible.
Hmm.
I just feel like the reason why I have a problem with Tyler isn't because he played him too young. It's the dialogue,
Mhm.
right? What he had to say in the script.
Yeah.
It's the direction,
Mhm.
because they made that poor boy over exaggerate every line he had. It
Mhm.
was so exaggerated that it didn't feel authentic. And I feel like for me, after watching this again, coming off of the back of fucking Alex Vincent as Andy Barclay with the mature acting chops that he had, and
Mhm.
then you replace him with another child whose acting isn't as strong, it throws off the whole
Yeah, because
ideal of the child actor for me.
Andy was 8 years old and two, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So that you're right. You're totally on the money because
It throws off the whole dynamic. Like
yeah.
I was explaining to Courtney, we were watching it. It's a tonal shift
Mhm.
when you take a central character who is a child with such, I mean, strong acting ability,
Mhm.
and then you switch the tone to somebody who's a child who doesn't, it's a very glaring red spot.
Mhm.
It's like a
Yeah.
target. You can clearly see it. And I had to really think about it. Like, it's not because he's acting too young.
Yeah.
It's just because he doesn't have the same capabilities that Alex Vincent did, which is fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
Which
Yeah.
is totally fine. You know, he's a child. He did what he could. It's not the first time that child actors haven't, quote unquote, been able to hit the mark. It's a child
Yeah.
actor. It's a hit and a miss.
Yeah. And that, and I feel like in the moment, I feel like with making a movie, what you see right there is not what translates to the big screen.
Exactly.
And
Because
that was the disconnect. They probably saw it like, okay, he's doing it. He hit the line. But then when you watch it on the big screen, it didn't translate.
and I'm going to say this too, because I feel like there's something that is never ever said about Black people in horror movies, especially during the quote unquote golden age, right? So like the
Mhm.
70s to like the 2000s.
Mhm.
In my humblest of opinion, I feel like they made that boy over exaggerate his lines. And I feel like they made him speak in a way that wasn't natural to how he usually speaks, because Black people at that time were always ADR'd or reshooting their scenes. So they didn't sound so ghetto when they were reading these lines.
Mhm.
I feel like that might have been the case. I don't
Mhm.
think that's really how the boy talks.
Mhm.
It just didn't come off natural.
We've never actually like excuse me. Is there was there ever like an interview with little Jeremy Silver?
No, no. And I
Okay.
don't even think he's acted much outside of that. Maybe a few things, but not a lot.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I can honestly say, because Hollywood was notorious at that time for doing that to Black people. I mean, um,
Yeah.
the girl from Nightmare on Elm Street 5, the nerdy girl
Yeah.
who got the air sucked out of her, she
Yeah.
said that herself in her own interviews, that they kept trying to make her redo it because she didn't sound, quote unquote, Black enough. Like, you either weren't Black enough or you sounded too Black. But there's just something
Yep.
about the way that he
Yep.
sounds
Yeah.
that just doesn't sound natural. Like the way
You
he
can
says
tell.
Charles,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound natural.
Yeah. Even for a little guy that's in a military academy, I don't think he would talk like that. And we
No.
didn't never and even though we've gotten Andy at 16, we still did not. This movie did nothing for Andy Barclay as far as character development. That's my biggest thing because I'm not gonna lie to you. The little 8-year-old Andy Barclay from 1 and 2, he would have beat that bully's ass. In this one,
Right.
it didn't seem like Andy was he didn't seem like I don't know. He just didn't seem like he was a fighter in this one. Like he had to be pushed to be
Yeah,
there.
this is literally all he's ever done is Child's Play, an episode of Saved by the Bell in
Mm,
92, and an episode of My Wife and Kids.
okay. Yep.
That's it. And
So,
apparently he got arrested in sorry, in 2018
oh my gosh.
because he knocked his mother down and stole her car
Oh my gosh.
after he
So,
had an argument with his mom.
so some domestic violence shit.
It says that she refused to give him a ride and he knocked her down and drove off in her vehicle,
Damn.
and his mother called the police on him.
That sounds
And in
terrible.
2014, an ex-girlfriend retained a restraining order against him
Mm,
after what she described as abusive behavior. So yeah, he has
mm.
wow. Okay, apparently he became a belligerent at a party, exposed his genitals and started urinating on other guests and caused multiple fights. So he's been in some shit.
Oh man, so he's had a hard life. He's had a bit of a hard life. Mm,
Yeah, apparently he is like doing the horror convention circuit right now, and he really wants to come back
mm,
for the TV show for season 3,
okay.
which I think would be actually pretty dope. They brought
I
everybody else the fuck back.
I think so. Don Mancini will definitely give him a chance. Even with
He should.
if he's on the right path right now and he's like willing to take it serious,
No, because I feel like he caught a lot of shit for why this movie isn't good, myself included. But like I said, just
Yeah.
breaking it down further with
Yeah.
better, mature eyes of a cinephile, I just
Oh
really
yeah.
feel like
Oh yeah.
there was some direction problems there.
Yeah. So
But
yeah, we got to get back to
yeah, we gotta get back.
so yeah, so as any 8-year-old, he's like, oh my gosh, it's a good guy doll, let's go open it. And Chucky bursts out the package. He bursts out the package, surprises the hell out of Tyler, but he remembers that you can you can possess the first person who learns your true identity. So he wastes no time getting right to Tyler and saying, "Hey, my name, this is my real name. Let's
Hmm.
play this game called Hide the Soul." He wastes no time getting to the shit. Like I want to say, like, Chucky was he was on the right path to getting his soul, but of course, before he can really finish the ritual, the clouds and everything start coming. The colonel, he interrupts and is like, what are you doing in there? Get out of here. Give
You
me
don't
that
play with
soul."
dolls.
He was like, and this is another thing with this movie, they, since it's a military academy, you got to have that masculine, "Better play with no dolls," or "Give me that doll." So
Hmm.
he takes the doll, throws it in the trash. It goes into the like trash compactor, and Chucky, being the very devious but smart guy that he is, he's like, "Help, help,
Extremely.
help, can you please help me?" And that poor man, that poor man was just doing his job. He thought he was trying to help a kid out. He climbs in the back of the dump truck, and somehow Chucky gets his ass in the truck, in the inside, in the compactor part, and crushes that man. And I feel like we didn't see enough of it. I would have really liked to see a little bit more. Like, I'm kind of sick and twisted in my head, and I'm like, damn.
I thought it was funny.
It was this movie was more funny than anything.
I thought it was
It
so
had,
funny the way he got killed.
yeah, it was funny how he got killed, and he got crushed to death. So that's we're at death number 2, right?
Yeah, and then everybody like runs out and like looks, and Andy's just like, "Here we go with this bullshit."
Yep, because he saw the guy taking Chucky outside, and
Yeah.
it was like slow motion. So he's like, God damn,
Yeah,
like,
he has a lot of PTSD like flashes in this movie. Have you like the it goes with the military thing, right? Where like he'll see something and he'll completely zone out and start sweating.
mm-hmm.
Like when he was
Oh
getting
yeah.
his hair cut and the commercial popped up and he had a whole moment.
Yes, yes. That was like, it's like he never got away from it. He never was able to get away from it.
Yeah.
So, woo, after the death of the trash guy, later on that night, Chucky, once again, he wastes no time finding Andy, because he found Andy through the CEO's computer. That's how he was
Yep.
able to find out that he was in the military school. So he finds Andy, tells him his plans. He like, yeah, don't even need you no more, babes. I'm gonna take over Tyler's body. And I've been laughing about this all day, y'all. I have been laughing about this all day. So feel free to roast me in the comments. But when Chucky said Chucky's gonna be a bro, I lost it. I lose it every time. Every time. It is hilarious. And I know you hate it. Like, why? Why would you say that? Because I mean, if we want to really analyze that, take a little detour. Charles Lee Ray, I don't think you want to be a bro. You're already going to be a suspect just off of that.
Yeah, you're not going to be a very successful serial killer being black.
You're not going to have a very long career. So
I
yeah,
just feel like that is the worst
yeah, it was
line.
it was bad.
That and "Oops, I Did It Again" from Seed of Chucky are like the top two worst lines I think in Chucky history. But Chucky's gonna be a bro
Chucky's
makes
gonna
me
be a bro.
violent. I don't know why it makes me violent, but it makes me violent. Like it makes me just want to beat. I want to slap the shit out of Chucky. Like no,
Oh my gosh, I rewind. You got you're not gonna believe how many times I rewinded that part of just cackling, just out loud cackling. because
It's
it
probably
was
because of the
hilarious.
way Brad Dorff says it.
He
And I
man.
think it's the fact that he's because it sounds and I hate to say it, but it sounds so white
Yep.
coming from Chucky.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
Chucky gonna be a brother, anything else but bro. I feel
Yep.
like bro is just like when
Yeah.
a white dude says bro, my antennas just go up.
It's automatically like nah dog, no. So before, Andy is like, okay, I'm not about to let this happen. That Shelton guy comes in and takes the doll from him. So Andy is like, no, I've been through this, and I felt like this was a flashback of him with that electric knife.
Yep.
In two, he's like, nope, this he got to go today. So he goes and sneaks back into Shelton's room to take it back. Shelton awakes, confronts him, only to find that Chucky has vanished again.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of this is the boringest part of the movie. Like
It
it's
is. And I have to say that for
Mhm,
Andy, it's been 8 years
mhm,
since he's seen Chucky.
mhm,
So I could imagine how just exhausting this is that you've had 8 years of just being scared but nothing happening. And then you
mhm.
finally kind of are like, all right.
Yep. Yep. So this Shelton guy is the worst because now he's like forcing all the cadets to go outside. They got to do this damn exercise, and that kind of reminded me when I was in boot camp for those 4 weeks, and one person fuck up, everybody got to do these exercises. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like they
It's
really
team building.
team building is bullshit. I'm like they really about to they really about to get on Andy now. Like they already like Andy was already getting shit kicked towards him. Oh yeah, he's definitely about to get more shit kicked towards him. But we got to find out where did Chucky go to? So Chucky he goes to the colonel and scares the hell out of him, and he has a heart attack, which I felt like was just god awful. Even Chucky said, like, I didn't even do anything. Like, this was like, are you serious? Like, I didn't even get a chance to kill him. So yeah, he has a heart attack, and then the next morning, Andy is trying to convince Tyler, like, hey, don't trust Chucky. He is evil as fuck. And Tyler is so whiny. His voice is just so whiny and annoying. It's like, you don't know him. He's a good guy.
He's a good man, Savannah. He's in a tight place right now.
And I'm just like, dude, and he tried to possess him that night too. So it's like, dude, you are just
Oh, every time he does that, I think about waiting to exhale. He's a good man, Savannah.
yeah, yeah.
Because
He's
he was gonna ride for his man,
he was gonna ride for Charles.
for his best friend.
Oh my gosh. For his best friend you don't even know. Huh. But meanwhile, Chucky ain't wasting no time. He goes to the barber and slashes his throat, which I felt like that was good. That was a good kill. I did like that kill
I feel
because
like the barber was the only person with any charisma in this movie outside of Chucky.
yeah, but I wasn't feeling the barber trying to cut Chucky's hair now. I ain't
Oh,
gonna
I
lie.
was because he was. Look, you could tell that man was on something because he was just
Yeah, I was
getting
like, why are you doing
like
this?
I
Don't do
I
that
I love
to
doing
him.
hair myself, but I ain't never been that eager to
To
cut nobody hair.
yeah, like what? He definitely was. So he got Chucky got him with that razor. He got him
Mhm.
with that razor real good. So we are at kill count number 4. Even though I really don't want to count the heart attack one, but I mean, hey,
You have to.
we have to. It's there. They showed it.
He was the catalyst. I mean, it is funny that Chuck was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me."
Mhm. Mhm.
I didn't
Yeah.
even do shit. But like, I'm sorry. Before that kill, when De Silva came in and her friend, they were trying to
Oh
find some dirt
yeah.
on Andy, and they put the lipstick on him.
Yes. Oh my
I
gosh.
really wanted him to stab her.
It was a little weird too that once he found Chucky with all the lipstick on him, he's just like, "Oh, look at you." Like, ew. Like,
Yeah, like
ew.
Tyler was getting so mad she put that lipstick on him. But
Right?
like, it didn't make sense. Like, why are you putting lipstick on the doll to be funny? But then you want to help Tyler get out? Like, are you making fun of the boy or what? Like, it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah. And this was also just pointless dialogue.
Yes.
Pointless dialogue. Like all of this is pointless at this.
But yeah, her pulling Andy's file was just really annoying to me.
Yeah, because why? Why? Like what is
Like,
the
you
reason
obviously like
behind
him,
it?
so why does it matter?
Right. You supposed to be this like tough girl. Why don't you just tell him you like him? Like I don't understand.
Well, I
But
mean, I get that part, but
I
this
was just like,
breaking and entering
yeah, like it's not
just for
like
a crush is kind of like where I draw the line.
yeah. Yeah. So despite the colonel's death, the school still goes on with their annual war game, which I
Yes.
thought this was a little hmm,
I mean, it's a real thing.
it's a real thing, which I was just like, they ain't got nothing better to do. But yeah, the cadets they have to do this war game. They got a red team, they got a blue team. Andy and Shelton are both on the blue team. Ugh,
And
like
Harold.
ugh, and Harold. Ugh, just like we gotta. I'm just like, they got to force this man. Every moment that Shelton was on the screen was just annoying to me.
That's how I feel about Harold. Like, you were just there. Like, he offered nothing.
Mm-hmm. Nothing. Pointless.
Even though he too saw the doll.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ugh, yeah.
That man was so PUSSY. It don't even make no sense. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he was so pointless.
Mm. But Chucky is still scheming because he replaces all the paint bullets of the red team with
Mm-hmm.
actual live ammunition. So he was looking for blood. Like he was out for blood. And when everything goes on, Chucky still like he's tried like 3 times now. He lures Tyler away from his team. And I guess this is finally the moment where he realizes you're not a good guy. You're
And
not a
that
good guy.
is what bothers me because, like, Andy when Andy is in that fucking room in the first one and he realizes Chucky is lying to him,
Mm-hmm.
that was it. All bets were off. Get this fucking doll away from me. This
Mm-hmm.
child continuously was riding with Chucky, and it's like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I can't relate.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a kid, I couldn't relate because, like, the moment I'm about to get in trouble, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
I'm not getting in trouble for nobody.
No, I wasn't getting in trouble for nobody but me.
Nobody. If
But
I'm
he
gonna,
just was
I'm gonna
like,
get an ass whooping, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna get
yeah,
it
but like he
myself.
just like this, like he kept trying to like, first of all, stranger danger, but he kept trying to like lay you down.
Yeah.
Red flag number one, and then like he always had a knife on him. It's like you ain't think none of this was dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
Yep.
Andy had a sense of this is dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
like he went with
At a
him to
very young age.
yeah,
At
he
a
went with him
very
to
young
Eddie
age.
Caputo.
Yeah.
Like he naively went with him to go kill Eddie Caputo. But
Yeah.
once he realized that like it was gonna cost him his mom,
Yeah. He was like, I'm done.
done.
I'm out. I'm out. I am out. Okay. He low key was kind of, I feel like, yeah. I don't know. He low key was like not really feeling it at first because he was just like, hey, like he was speaking the truth. So he had more of an antenna up than little Tyler had. And once he finally finds out that Chucky's a bad guy,
Chucky
yeah,
Chucky curses his ass out, and Tyra don't like people cursing.
he don't. And Tyler, he finally pulled out his little pocket knife and try to stab. Did he? He did
He
stab.
did. He
He did.
stabbed him in the shoulder.
He did. He stabbed him good. And then he ran to go find Andy because now all of a sudden you want to believe him.
Well,
But
he's
check,
8. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he's 8. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt of being naive.
yeah.
It's just this man has tried, like this doll has tried to harm you, and he's
Hmm.
cursing at you all the time.
Hmm.
Maybe this isn't the person you want to be around. It wasn't like he just came out of nowhere. He had been like cursing and
The
talking
very
shit
first
to Tyler.
listen, the very first time when he jumped out of that box, he said, "Who the fuck are you?" Like
Yeah,
that was his first sentence.
he's never been nice to him.
Never. He's always had a
Which
menacing face.
also, my sister, seems suspicious that he played along with the white boy, but was
Mm,
instantly rude to the black one.
mm. You don't find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious that
Mm,
Chucky may low-key be racist? Because we don't really see any other black people in any of these movies, except for the TV show.
mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
Chucky. Look, Charles Way might have low key been a racist, bro.
I think so. Yeah, I could buy that. I mean, he already a murderer, so I feel like racism kind of goes hand in hand with,
Or he's not racist. Black folks are just way too smart to be caught up.
yeah. He ain't gonna Black people ain't gonna be caught dead.
I'm just talking shit, y'all. I really am.
He's not gonna be caught. So this was we finally get to some action with this movie, and Chucky, he attacks De Silva during this whole still during this whole war game shit going on.
Yes, because what
He
was she looking for? She was by herself. What was she out there looking for? I
do
mean,
not
it couldn't have been just the flag because they were supposed to be a unit.
Yeah. So he takes De Silva, holds her hostage, and then he kind of bargains her with Andy to exchange De Silva for Tyler. So he's like, all right, all
Yeah,
right,
which
all right.
that scene I did like when they caught Andy
Mm-hmm.
and they thought he was being a traitor, and
Mm-hmm.
then Tyler does. He says Tyler's in trouble. Tyler does show up,
Mm-hmm.
but like the lieutenant interprets it as it's someone from the red side
Mm-hmm.
trying
Yep.
to hurt them. Not that this
Yep.
is a real threat. This is just part of the war game.
Yep. And keep in mind, uh the red team does not have paint bullets.
Yeah, and
They have,
Tyler's on the red team, so they treat him like a POW.
yeah, yeah. This war game is getting
He's
real.
he's really in this. Like he really thinks this is just a war game. And it's like, nah, this boy is really in trouble.
No, like you really in trouble. So finally they get to the part where the blue team and the red team are going to open fire on each other. Shelton is killed, which I wasn't mad. I was just mad that Chucky did not personally kill him. But he's killed from the bullet from the red team, of course. Somebody, so, somebody had to die. Like somebody had to
Mhm.
go because it's live ammunition. And Tyler still manages to escape in all of this chaos because it was not supposed to be real ammunition. It's supposed to be just paintballs. So
Yeah, the way he slipped away was really, really
he
funny.
slipped away. He slipped away really good. And then Chucky tosses a grenade. Boom.
Yeah, because everyone's distracted. Like they realize that they have live ammunition, and the red team's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Hold your fire!"
Right.
Right?
And the one guy, he leaps on top of the
Carol,
grenade. Yeah.
so, which would have made
Yeah.
much more of an impact had anybody known anything about him except for him being Andy's roommate. So it made no sense for him to sacrifice himself for someone that he wasn't really friends with.
We
They were
don't even
just
care.
roommates.
We don't even care. I forgot his name. I was just like, oh, that's
They
that one guy.
really nothing about them in this movie said they had a friendship. They just lived
Yeah.
together.
Another useless kill. Just useless, pointless kill. So
I'm saying
this
like for
character,
real.
this
Like
character that we don't care about,
the whole movie,
he
he has been
sacrificed.
nothing but like scary.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell them that he saw the dog too. He acts
Yep.
like he don't know shit, and all of a sudden he's gonna jump on a grenade.
Yep. And making himself like the hero. He saved everybody. He saved everybody, sacrificed himself.
No sense.
No, no, we don't care. Like we don't care. We
Yeah,
don't
no sense.
care.
We don't care.
We don't care.
It don't have to make
So
sense because I don't care.
yeah. And then this is where my favorite scene, well, just not even a favorite scene, but it's my favorite where they were at this haunted themed roller coaster.
And after watching it, I could see why people feel like they love part 3 because yeah, the fair part
Yeah.
is very interesting.
It is. It's very interesting. So we get, I mean, this, like I said, this movie was mostly a snooze fest at the military academy. It was a dud. Once the pursuit goes into this haunted roller coaster, then we up there. And of course, Chucky, he killed a security guard, kidnaps Tyler again. Tyler just won't, this kid just won't, he just won't.
He is Princess Peach.
He really is like he can't get right. I'm gonna start calling him can't get right.
He always get kidnapped.
Like you slip away, he slip away in all the chaos and gets away, and then you get kidnapped again. Whatever. Andy and De Silva are on pursuit, and they go to the carnival, and then they go to the ride that's called the Devil's Lair. Not gonna lie. The Devil's Lair sounds like something I would have rode multiple times over and over and over again just because it seemed like a fun time. I was
I
in the
like
roller coaster.
I like the roller coaster idea.
Yeah.
What I don't like is we're supposed to believe that this big ass roller coaster exists in this fucking little town fair.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was literally like Universal Studios level big.
Pretty much. Yeah. Because it came out of nowhere.
This shit was
Because
big as hell.
how did they get so like how close was this carnival to the military academy?
Right. And it was no, well, they went out into the woods. So it's probably like on the other side of the woods because they remember him and De Silva kissed when they were looking at it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact of like it's physically
huge.
I'm not saying I've been to a lot of fairs, but I know those roller coasters are not that. It was huge. Like that's like a damn Cedar Point
Like theme park
weekends.
That's what I was thinking. Like, is this a theme park or is this one of them assembled?
Because you saw them when they were outside. It was a literal like fair carnival. They had the Ferris wheel and there's little like games and stuff, and there's little kids walking around. Like there's no way this thing existed. Yeah, it looks good though.
It looked really good, but I was just like, all right, what's going on? At this point, I just want the movie to be over with because this movie is 90 minutes. So it's a very quick watch. And I would say the last maybe 30 minutes. Maybe
fair enough.
Maybe 30 minutes is where I'm like, all right, this is where it's gonna get good. Chucky, once he killed the security guard, he got his gun. So Chucky shoots De Silva in the leg, and now it's up to Andy to go face him alone. And Chucky gets shot a few times. Like he gets shot a few times. His left arm is destroyed, and then he can't finish his little voodoo chant to finally possess Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when it's like, okay, how is this going to end? Because we still is like up. We're up high. We're still up high.
And half his face is missing from that Grim Reaper.
Yep. He sliced that. I mean, that was a good move too, where they sliced.
Yeah, I did like that part.
I was like, is that supposed to be? I thought them things were supposed to be fake. Like this, they got a
lawsuit waiting to happen
for real. Like this, this is about to go from Child's Play to Final Destination.
That last scene definitely feels like Final Destination
for real quick. So Tyler, he gave his little pocket knife to Andy.
Yeah, because he's about to fall and Chucky's on his back with the one arm.
Yep, the one arm. So he uses a little pocket knife, cut off his right hand. Boom. And then Andy throw Chucky down into that metal fan. Oh, that was awesome. Like it was so good. I was like, now this is how you really kill Chucky. Shred his little ass up to pieces. Shred him up to pieces. Yes. And that's the big climax, basically. That's the big climax.
De Silva's in the ambulance and Andy's getting put in the back of a cop car.
Yep. He getting put away in a cop car.
But I do love that he was like, it's okay, I've been here before.
Yep. I don't like where it left off with Andy though, because we don't know his fate. What happened?
We still don't know to this day, even with all of the updates with Andy being in the films and the TV show. We still don't know. We just know he's fucked up.
Very.
But I don't know. I just feel like I like the ending. I just don't feel like it necessarily fits Child's Play just because of the look. Like I don't feel like the amusement park thing was a thing, and the whole Luke Skywalker cutting off the hands and shit thing just doesn't work for me. And this is my big thing, and I've said this forever, and I have been literally viciously attacked online for saying this. But should Child's Play 3 even exist? And I will propose this to you.
Yeah.
At the end of Child's Play 2, Chucky says he's been in that body too long because he cannot complete the ritual with Andy.
Yep.
So if he knows he literally has 48 hours at this point, we'll just spitball and say 48 hours to get out of this body. Why is this even a thing? Because it's still him. He's still in the good guy body, even though it's a quote unquote new good guy body.
Yeah.
But if the ritual didn't work the first time, why would it work this time?
That's a good question. Maybe every time he gets revived, but
Yeah,
they never
he's got like
explicitly.
48 hours. But we had already
Yeah.
passed the 48-hour mark by the time we got to the war games,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're way past that because the first night that he's alive, he kills the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
we've been past. So if he didn't do it in that storeroom with Tyler the first day, that's it. Like it was not gonna happen.
Right. Right.
It just made no sense to me. I don't know. This movie just is like I feel like they just was like, okay, we gotta make a script in 6 months. We gotta start filming. What can we throw at? And they started just pulling out
Yeah.
ideas that they had in the beginning and just kind of threw them
Yeah.
together.
And it's unfortunate because they're like, what was the rush? Because Bride of Chucky didn't come till 7 years later. By then,
Chef's
with
kiss.
oh yeah, very much so. But with a franchise, you know, once so like those long gaps in between movies, that's kind of frowned upon
Yeah.
in franchises. So the fact that after three, y'all did not rush at all to go to Bride of Chucky, and it was great. So it's like y'all didn't have to rush this one so hard.
No, let's call a spade a spade. Bride of Chucky is great because of Jennifer Tilly.
She definitely
Her and Brad
had
Dourif
a part.
are why that movie is great. If anybody else would have been casted in that role,
Yeah.
it would not have worked. We wouldn't have what we have. And I'm sorry. I'm putting claims on
This
that.
is when now I will say with Bride of Chucky, this is when a love interest. I'm here for it
Well,
because
yeah, I mean,
who better to have kill than a woman serial killer? Like
he
we
said
find
that
out he has a girlfriend that he was.
he said he was heavily inspired by Bride of Frankenstein, and I say kudos to that because sometimes the classics get forgotten. And Bride of Frankenstein is a fantastic movie.
Mhm,
I
yep.
like Bride of Frankenstein better than Frankenstein.
Okay.
It's fantastic,
Okay.
and especially because I've been like actually like watching some of the show,
Yeah.
and I love where they've taken Tiffany,
Yeah.
even in the show.
Yeah.
When you find out how they met, that she was into this before he even came along, she was like on this type of shit,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that they have this whole thing, and the fact that she is the reason why his ass got killed in the first place
Yeah.
is great because that makes total sense for Tiffany's character. She's petty, and we stand a petty queen.
Yeah.
She
I'm here
found out
for
that man was out there killing people without him, and she said, "I bet the fuck not." And she called the police.
it. That is hilarious.
You can find that clip on YouTube, but she dropped Don. Look, they had
Yeah.
a whole. They were poly, but only when it came to killing. So he was not allowed to kill without her. This is like the
Yeah. That makes
moving into the
sense.
show. He's
That
not
makes sense.
allowed to kill without her in their backstory. So
Yeah.
when
That makes
she
sense.
catches him killing somebody else without her, she walked like as if he was cheating. That's how they set it up.
Mhm.
She catches him in the act of killing somebody else, and she loses her fucking shit. And he hits her with the "Well, I got a life outside of you," and
Oh, oh, do you? Oh, do you?
and
Okay.
he leaves, and she calls Detective Mike Norris herself,
Like I'm gonna teach him. I'm gonna show
and
him.
he dies that night. So the fact that she got the man killed, and then you get the Bride of Chucky story to where she revived the man.
Mhm.
I think it's great. I just feel like Jennifer Tilly brings so much to this role, and that's my favorite out of the entire movie franchise is going to be Bride because Jennifer Tilly is just that girl.
Yeah, definitely. Bride of
But They
Chucky is at the peak because
they could have kept part. They totally could have kept part three. I can't.
yeah,
You can see I'm like physically defeated like by this review because it took me so many times to watch it.
yeah,
I couldn't keep focus on it.
yeah,
It just was
yeah,
not.
yeah. It was definitely. I look at it like this. Each This franchise is so great because it's so timed to where it's at. So the first
Yes.
trilogy The first trilogy is the first three Child's Plays. They, even though I don't want to count three, but it's there. We gotta count it. So
We
three is
have
there.
to.
Bride revives the
Yeah.
franchise, and then we got Bride, Seed, then Curse.
Mm-hmm.
Curse. I feel like Bride and Seed duo. They're a duo together, and then Curse and Cult is a duo together.
Yeah, like they're definitely bookends because the Bride and Seed era are just comedy.
Comedy, pure comedy. Even though Bride was kind of scary too.
I
It had its moments where it's like ooh, like they're being serious.
I
And
feel like Bride was scary up until the love scene. Then it just became hilarious.
mhm, when he said I'm all plastic.
Yes, but
Yeah.
yeah, Bride and Seed are these bookends of comedy, and that's why like people say they hate Seed. I'm like, I don't know why you hate it because it's just so damn funny. It's fucking
It's
hilarious.
hilarious. It's hilarious. When you look at things like that from a comedy perspective, it's great. Like it's great in
But I
itself of
think
like,
because we are the generation of the meta
yeah.
horror,
Yeah.
there's an appreciation that only our generation has for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For Seed, because it's just the just Jennifer playing herself and like it's and talking shit about her, like it's all just so damn funny.
Mhm.
And then you got Curse and Cult, which was like more of that
Serious.
seriously
It's more
like
serious, definitely.
gothic horror type of time.
Yep. Yep.
But I mean, I'm glad we finished this out. This is in the same vein for me as the Scream 3 and Halloween
Yep.
ends. Like this
Yep.
is I just can't. But you
Yep.
got to get through it.
Yep. You gotta get through it. But I would say, what would you give this film on a rating scale from like what are we gonna do? One to five or 1 through 10?
We can do 1 through 5. This is a damn two.
Yeah. I would rate it. I'm gonna be generous and do 2.5. And for me, a 2.5 is it's not good, it's not bad, it's just there. It could have been better,
Yeah, it's not like
but
complete
not
dog
the
shit, but
worst.
it's just like I said, the tonal shift is so abrupt. And if
Yeah.
you're coming off the back of two, when
Yeah.
you had Andy at his prime, you had Kyle, who was a powerhouse in that movie, stepping up as like the real female lead, and you had Brad Dorff just bringing it, and then you
Mm-hmm.
had those supporting characters that you hated,
Mm-hmm.
that you wanted to die, like Joanne and Phil, like the
Yep.
teacher, like everyone was on their A game in that second movie
Yeah.
and everyone was not in the third.
Yep. And that's one thing. It circles back around to Don. He takes full responsibility of
Yeah,
it.
I love watching
I
his
love
interviews
it.
because he's so honest
Yeah.
and he's so
Yeah.
humble by his
Yeah.
fan base.
Yeah. And I mean, even though Child's Play 3 is the lowest. It's the lowest grossing film in the whole franchise.
Yeah.
It still made its budget back.
Yep.
I will say that. It did at least that, because we know, had this movie not even recovered its $13 million budget, that would have been the end probably of the franchise, because they ain't about to keep putting money into something that is a financial failure. So the fact that it
Yes.
still made some money, just not enough to where, they when you come off of the previous movie that made upwards, it doubles, triples its
Hmm.
budget back. It's kind of disappointing to where it's like, all right, we made our money back, but damn, like we ain't even double this shit.
Yeah. No, it's and the director actually, it's funny because Courtney said it looks like a TV movie.
Yeah.
But the director actually went on to film a bunch of TVs. Like he's done some Game of Thrones. He did some episodes of Sopranos. As of
Yeah.
recent, he's directing episodes of From, like a
Yep.
lot of them.
Yeah.
So it served his career well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all. I mean, I guess that's all that matters, right? Like everybody has their stepping stone. But I'm just ready
Everybody.
to get to Bride because that
Yep.
that's
That's
my
where
thing.
this is where it gets fun. This
Yes,
is where it gets fun, fun, fun. So
and
I
of
am
course,
excited.
I'm gonna give you some trivia that you probably didn't know associated with this movie and or persons in this movie. So we're gonna get
Yeah.
to Bride. So I got some good ass trivia for you on this one that
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't even know.
Okay.
Now, we all know Jennifer Tilly is that bitch, right? But Jennifer Tilly, and I also knew this though, but Jennifer Tilly is actually a champion poker player,
Oh yeah.
right? So we used to see that shit in the 90s, like on ESPN World Poker Championship stuff, right? She's
Hmm.
also Canadian. I didn't know, however, that she's actually half Chinese.
What?
She's an American Canadian, and her father is Chinese, and her mother is like Irish,
Huh. Interesting.
which is why she has that very icon. Her and her sister Meg have
Yeah.
that very iconic face because it's biracial.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Meg Tilly was also in Psycho 2,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? The older sister, which
Hmm.
I fucking adore. But something else that I just find like it cements Jennifer Tilly and Tiffany as even more of a bad bitch in real life is Jennifer Tilly. They have this joke about Jennifer Tilly with that Simpsons money, and I didn't know what that meant.
Ah.
So I looked into it. So Jennifer
Yeah.
Tilly was married to Sam Simon, who was a producer on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Okay, they got divorced. In the divorce, she
Yeah.
gets 30% of his earnings. And even though he passed away, she still gets 30% of the net earnings from The Simpsons. So when I say that is some bad bitch widow shit, she got that long money.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
receives 30% of this man's estate to this day.
Man, that's she the goat right there for
And
that.
they were married from 84 to 91.
Damn. I
So
never
that's
knew
during
that.
prime Simpsons time.
Yes. Yes. Girl.
Jennifer Tilly is that girl. And I did not know this at all
Hmm.
that she was getting that Simpsons money.
Man.
And I happened to catch the reference because I was watching The Simpsons,
Yeah.
ironically, and I looked into it. And yeah, there's an episode that and she was never on The Simpsons
Hmm.
until uh 2022.
Oh, so
And
just last year.
she played herself,
Okay. Makes
right?
sense.
She played herself, and she makes the joke of you have to take your Simpsons money and invest it wisely. And I just find that the fact that she pokes so much fun at herself is hilarious. But yeah, Jennifer Tilly got that long money.
Hey, she ain't never got to work again, and she gonna still
She gonna
collect.
still work.
She gonna still collect.
She's
Man.
been in this game a long time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. That's it makes me feel like the Tiffany character is. I feel like it's her. They had to have written it for her
Oh
because
yeah. Oh yeah.
she embodies even outside of the universe. That's her embodiment.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Ooh, I cannot wait to talk about Bride of Chucky next week.
You
I
know how
cannot
much I love
wait.
this movie. Y'all
I
don't even understand. Like
Yeah.
being a young black girl in the 90s, you didn't have aesthetics to choose from like you do today. This
Mhm.
was not a thing
Mhm.
at all.
Mhm. Right.
Right. Especially growing up like in the projects in the hood or whatever.
Right.
So seeing Jennifer Tilly was the first time that I had like those slight pangs of, do I like girls? You have that moment where you're like, do
Mhm.
I like girls? But then you have that moment of, damn, I want to look like this. Like that was the person
Yeah.
that I was like, when I grow up and I can dress how
Yeah.
I want to, this is what I'm going to look like. Is Tiffany
Right.
Valentine from that movie.
Right. Right. Right.
And I've achieved that. And I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the thing that Tiffany captured our hearts because we was rooting for her.
Yes.
She was a very likable character. Like I did not want her to die
No.
at all. Like I felt her, especially. Listen, we're not gonna go on a whole tangent about that because we
Yes.
got to
That's what
talk
I'm
about
saying.
that
Like
then because
she and I hate to say as a black woman that was my blueprint for how I associate
yeah,
myself,
yeah,
but seeing her be effortlessly sexy
hmm
and dark and have all the weird dolls
yep,
and
and
be
not take no
watching,
shit.
yeah, didn't take
Also,
no shit and was
yeah,
watching and she cared about her looks. Like she wasn't doing anything until her lipstick was on and her like even in the doll form she's like, I'm not fucking stepping outside looking like this.
yeah, yeah. She changed her whole look up, even as a doll, and had Chucky like, yeah, bitch, yeah, eat your fucking heart out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just have
I
such
can't
a
wait.
this movie is so rooted into part of my identity. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about it too. So, any closing thoughts as we close this chapter on the Child's Play trilogy?
I just have such a fondness for the original trilogy because it's kind of like it's one of like your starter
Yeah.
horror films as a kid, right? Dolls are always going to be the thing that scares you the most, like
Mhm.
with Goosebumps and Slappy and
Mhm.
Child's Play and all that shit, Dolly Dearest. So
Yep.
it holds a special. It's one of the franchises that I always share with my children.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a nice gateway into seeing whether you're into this kind of stuff or you're not into this kind of stuff.
Right.
I
Right.
feel the same way about Pinocchio. Pinocchio definitely terrified me as a child. Like Pinocchio is its own horror movie. That's a different story.
Mhm.
I I love these movies, and even when they're bad, I'm always gonna love them.
Yeah.
And I feel like the trilogy speaks for itself. I mean, we're going over like almost like what 30 years at this point.
Yes, absolutely. We're going into season 3 of Chucky.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's still good. I
and
I
it's still
still
really
enjoy
good.
it.
I still enjoy it too. So yeah, that is going to be it for Child's Play 3. But please join us next week because you're not gonna want to miss Bride of Chucky. That's gonna be the one, y'all. That's gonna be the one where you're gonna see us really get in our bag of talking about every single scene. Like every time I watch this movie, it goes by so fast, and I'm like, damn, I'm already at the end. Like I gotta restart it. Like I have to restart this movie because it's
I'm
going.
telling you, my little manic depressive lazy ass is showing up in full bimbo attire because
Mhm.
I have to. I
Yeah,
have to do her proud.
yeah,
This movie's my fucking my identity at this point. Like
yeah.
I don't know. Every black woman that I've talked to who's like really into like goth and metal and all that stuff. This movie is woven into the zeitgeist. Like it's woven into their identity.
Mhm.
I've
Yep.
never met one that's like, I hate Bride of Chucky. They're always like, oh my god, I love that movie so much because
Right.
it just is like, and
Yeah.
that was the first time I ever even heard Rob Zombie. That
Oh
was one of
yeah.
the films that got me into like the opening song, "Living Dead Girl." That's Rob
Oh
Zombie.
yeah. Oh, okay. I never knew that. I never knew
That
that.
movie got me into metal. Like
Okay.
I literally have those. I had the soundtrack. I
Mhm.
still play those songs. That version of Crazy. I
Oh
fucking love
yeah.
that shit. Like
Oh yeah.
Katherine Heigl.
Yeah.
Because the only time I had ever seen Katherine Heigl was in Wish Upon on the Disney Channel,
Okay.
which also, funny fact, had Danielle Harris from Halloween as the little sister.
Oh yeah. I forgot
So
about that.
yeah, like it introduced me to like a whole. The only thing I really knew in that point was John Ritter
Oh
because
yeah. Yeah.
we grew up watching Three's Company, the
Right.
reruns and
Right.
stuff
Right.
like
Right.
that. So,
He
but
was
yeah,
a
it
kid.
introduced me to a whole another world outside of like rap
Yeah.
music and what it
Yeah.
meant to look the way I want to look. And it, like I said, it helped shape part of my identity. So
Oh
we
yeah.
have
Oh yeah.
Jennifer Tilly and Don Mancini to thank for that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So I'm excited. And I'm also excited that, people are along for the ride. Like our last video did way
It's doing
better.
numbers. It's doing numbers, and I'm like, what is it about this movie that everybody like is
Now,
watching
mind
it?
you, 52 views ain't numbers to y'all.
But it's numbers to us.
Numbers
And I'm
to
like,
us,
hey,
boo.
okay. I'm like, okay, go ahead, go off then. So hey, I'm okay with it. I'm
I'm okay
totally
with
fine with
it.
it.
Like, I mean, that's the thing. People love these movies, and
Yeah.
that's a testament that they don't even know who
Yep.
we are, and people are watching it. So that's
Yep.
like that's how great these movies are.
Yep. I guess Child's Play 2 was a lot of people's favorite too.
It is.
I think that's what it is. Child's Play 2 was a lot of people's favorite. And I mean, we stand for Child's Play Andy Barclay.
I
Stand
promise
for
you,
that
at
little
some
bit.
point, I'm trying to get all of my decorations up on the wall as much as
Mhm.
possible. I have so many, but I'm really looking into getting a Tiffany doll. I don't know if I
Yeah.
really want Chucky, but I definitely want a Tiffany doll. Like I just feel like my house, I
Okay.
need a Tiffany doll to
Yeah.
scare the neighborhood children at some point. Like I
Oh
need
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
like my plan is to become like a gothic baby's mom, like Rebe Hardy. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my house like that at some point. I can't wait to like get to become a homeowner so I can paint everything black and have all the weird horror shit. I literally just went to on Party City because I
Yeah.
saw they have a baby Michael Myers. It's
Oh.
it's $70, but it is the
Oh.
cute. Look it up. It's partycity.com. It's baby Michael Myers. It is the cutest thing, and it looks like Sean in a mask to me. So
Oh,
I feel like I need it because it looks like my son.
I want it. I want it
You have to.
now.
You have to look. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it because I promise you, it is the cutest.
I need
I
it.
need it, and I know it's $70, and I know I shouldn't spend money on it, but I want it. And the eyes
That's
light
worth
up.
it though. That's something that's worth it. It's worth it now. Shit.
The eyes light up.
Oh, baby Michael Myers. Okay.
I want it so bad.
Oh,
I need it. I need it, y'all.
yeah.
But we're gonna wrap it up. Hey, baby. Well, I can't call you baby anymore. You big guy. I need to stop doing that. I'm gonna get it right one day. I promise. I promise. Stop doing that. I'm gonna be at his wedding calling him baby. He's gonna be like,
Baby.
I'm 35.
Yeah, it's all right. It's whatever. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up right there, guys. And we are just under we're an hour at 10 minutes. So this was a
Yes.
short one. Pretty
But
quick.
don't forget, next week we're doing Bride of Chucky. And then if you caught the tail end of this and you want to catch up and rewatch because you didn't get to see the whole live, shoot on over to our YouTube channel, Horror Talks with Nisi and May on YouTube. And this will be uploaded within the hour. We always have it uploaded within an hour of our live broadcast because we appreciate you.
Please put in the title somewhere. Chucky almost became a bro. Please put that in the title somewhere.
I will do that for you. I will put it after the date of the movie because I don't understand why you love that shit so much.
Chucky almost came this close to becoming a bro. And I love it. I just
The
love
wackest line in horror history, Chucky.
Oh my gosh.
We're done. That's it. Case closed. That's a
Bye,
wrap, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Chucky became a bro. Get out here.